Hello and welcome to JCTV Zimbabwe, your channel of choice for all your political analysis in Zimbabwe and outside the borders. Today, as I promised on my Facebook wall and on JCT Zimbabwe page, we say that we're going to have a chat with Solomon Izhang Ashoms, who has been going around with J. Israel. He did some few interviews with him, and he himself has been in the business of exposing how pastors are manipulating people for their benefit, be it for financial benefit or for other benefits, exploiting people. And we are just excited to be having him on the show. He's a veteran journalist, and we are glad to have you on the show, sir. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Good to be with you tonight.
All right. It's an honor for me because such a short notice and you responded and you came to the show. I really appreciate that. I don't take that lightly.
That's okay.
Yeah. So maybe you can take us back because things have been happening, and we have been seeing, Israel doing his live show, and there was a time that we had a live show, and there were some people who came to the show, telling their stories and exposing what they've gone through, the likes of TB Joshua and other pastors. How did you guys and Jay meet? And he was the one who reached out to you, or it was you reaching out to him?
Well, Jay and I knew each other, not really meeting, but knew each other in somehow informally from like 3 years ago when he was a pastor in East London. And I was receiving complaints in East London from pastors and also from church members and people that have left there that, look, there's this young man who's a pastor in East London. He's defrauding people. He's faking miracles. And he is definitely not representing the gospel. So I did an investigation. I found out it's true. And there's a time we followed people. So he would take people from Johannesburg and take them there and pay them how much? I think about 1,000 rand each. Then they will sit on wheelchairs and pretend that they are disabled or they have cancer. So we did that investigation and we exposed it through the Daily Dispatch, which is the newspaper for the Eastern Cape part of South Africa.
Okay.
And he's been attacking me. He was attacking me online. He has a lot of fake accounts. He kept attacking me. His people were attacking me and all that kind of stuff, And then all of a sudden, after some time, so he knew me informally. And even when I talk about Outlook, how he would then attack me. But after some time, about sometimes last year, I saw he started changing his teachings, and to talk about, teachings that are a bit more balanced. There was a teaching that he did about, sex in the church or so. And I inboxed him. I said, look, I see your teachings are changing because he knows me. And I've been saying, look, this guy so I've been really exposing him. But I inboxed him on that instance because I said, look, your teaching is really balanced. It's good. We need to hear that in church. And he replied me, he said, thank you. I really appreciate it and all that. I said, look, I hope that you're not going to go back to your old ways of doing things, which is creating fake miracles and being a charlatan and being a false prophet and just enriching yourself. He said, no, it's difficult, but he would see, he will make sure he doesn't do it. But even before then, even when he claimed that he changed, I was telling people that, look, J. Israel has not changed. He's just rebranding himself, but still gonna be deceiving people. I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that he was changed. Until people started telling me, no, I should give him a chance and this and all that. So I saw a couple of changes and all that kind of stuff. And that was when we started talking. So we now started talking online. So I reached out to him to encourage him because he has changed. Yes.
Okay. You said that you did not believe that Jay changed. What were the signs that you could pick from a distance that this does not show a true sign of repentance?
I I definitely think that he for me, for start, when you are changed, when you come from that kind of community, you have to take a break. As a pastor, coming from faking miracles and all these things, you have to take a break. You know, which he didn't. So for me, that was the first red flag. Because it takes a lot for you need to go back and reconcile with God. You've been doing this fake miracles and defrauding people for a long time. But then I also saw that he kept the way that he talks. You know, you can hear pride, you can hear arrogance, and they're not the fruit of the spirit. So for me, it was the lack of fruit of the spirit, that I even posted something. I said, look, this guy has not changed. This guy, he might have confessed, but he has not repented. So confessing something and repenting from it, they're two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, even today, I have discovered that he has confessed, but he has not repented. Confession is saying, this is what I did. This is who I was. But repentance is saying, this is who I was, but this is how I have changed. And that is what is lacking today in the life of Jay.
Yeah. So in other words, it's almost like you are caught pants down and there is no way to deny it. You just have to accept, you confess that I've been, I've been cheating on you. Like if you are a married man, you've been caught. Is that the kind of a situation that Jay is?
Yes, like a married man who has been caught pants down, red-handed, and then he said, look, okay, I'm sorry, I've been cheating. But it doesn't mean that they have changed. You would think they have changed. The wife would think they have changed. The family would think it's changed. But he goes behind the scene and still meets another woman in the hotel, in the guest house, in her place. It's still going on. So the saying I have changed is just for him to get acceptance again. Just so he can have that authority amongst the family. Just so Jay can have a new sense of authority. A lot of things that he has shared about charlatans, how they operate, and some of these fraudulent prophets like Bushiri and them, Yuba Dangel, is true. I agree with him. I mean, he's coming from there, so he knows their operation, And my role as a journalist is to investigate these things. I try to bring evidence and say this is what happened. I try to speak to the victims. I try to get some sort of evidences. So for him, for Jay, I think he got to a place where he got tired of it or disappointed or weary of it, and he really wants to repent. But he only confessed because I can tell you today that the life that Jay Israel is living today is far, far away from how Christians should live. And we might say, well, that's where he's coming from. But it's like 2 years now since he said he is repented. 2 years now.
Yeah. That's a long time.
So that's my question. That's a long time, and that's my question mark. So we shouldn't be giving excuses for him. We shouldn't be giving excuses for him. I've been with him. I was close with him, and I saw it, and I encouraged him. But what he did was to lie to me, to my face, and my investigation is saying totally different. And that was when I told him, look, I'm sorry, I cannot continue with this relationship. If you want us to continue with the relationship, you must be ready to confess and tell me the truth. And that was it. I mean, he's still trying to get people to talk to me. He's still trying, he is calling leaders that I know to talk to me. But I'm not going to talk to him because we don't have a lot of things in common since I discovered that. Except he tells me the truth and accept. And the people that he has cheated, that he had lied to, tell them. And it's not about me. It's not really a personal vendetta, It's about people. Because Jay Israel has damaged far more people than he has helped. I say it again. Jay Israel, people are claiming he opened their eyes to see this, to see the charlatans, but he has damaged far more families, far more women, far more people than he has helped. So we must stop making excuses for him.
All right. Let's move on. You said you reached out to him. After reaching out to him, there is a time that you did is it 2 shows that you did with him? The first one with that clip.
Yes, we did 2.
Yeah.
Yes, we did two co-hosted like two program live broadcast together.
And in the interim, how was his behavior, and what were the traits that you could pick up that there is still deception here, there is still deception here? What were the red flags that you started picking up as you were interacting with each other when he came here to Joburg?
I think some of it was just more or less like, I'm coming and then you come late. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing on the ground with security, South African security, to arrest some false prophets and all that kind of stuff. But he will come on the ground. He will come a bit late, and there are times where I could, he has bodyguards. Carries 2 bodyguards wherever he goes. So I was questionable about that. He was driving a Range Rover. And for me, if you're in that life, he owes a lot of people money. But then you're driving a Range Rover. I have a problem with that. Maybe I need to downgrade from a Range Rover to a Toyota just so I can make my ways right with these people that I took money from.
Yes.
And you were staying in an apartment that was a bit expensive. I've been to where he was staying, So all this for me, because for me it's about character. It's not really about anything. It's about the character that you show, the character of God that you show, So it was definitely shocking for me to see that. And then gradually I began to see certain things around him. I began to investigate and see certain things around him, which totally was not right. His operation. There are times that he would do a broadcast, and I would tell him, "You did a broadcast, and the way you were talking to people was not nice. You were telling somebody, well, I'm not your father, or I didn't get this from your grandfather." You don't do that to people. Even if you disagree with people, you don't disrespect people. So for me, and I would speak to him privately, and he would accept, And I told him, look, you have to do another broadcast to apologize to people. You can't speak to people that way. So for me, but I understood that where he's coming from. But to be honest with you, after 2 years, you need to show more fruits than that. If you really, even if you call yourself a man of God, you need to show more fruits than that. That's why it was good for him to get away from running a church and go away.
Let's now look at you spoke to a gentleman yesterday who is from Eastern Cape, Mpingeleli, and he was his drummer, and you were narrating, and this is like the narrative that I'm finding with people and people that have been coming to me when we announced this broadcast. They were saying to me, we want more evidence. We want more evidence to show that J. Israel is still living that life that he was living before in terms of outlook. And you brought that gentleman as evidence. People, they are saying, we want more evidence. What can you say to them?
I don't know what more evidence you need when I brought the person, the victim, to speak. And you see, that's the problem, especially when it comes to women. When a woman was raped, and then the woman came out and say she was raped, we don't believe her. We want her to give us evidence. But we have to believe her. We have to say, okay, but what more evidence do you need? What more evidence? I brought the person, and yesterday you could see the wife and you could see the daughter. They came into the picture. We saw them.
Yes.
Would Jay come out and say that's a lie? He cannot do that. Everybody that's walking around Jay knows this person. And to be honest with you, I did my investigation to find out that actually this is what somebody had I was skeptical. with his story because I don't know him from anywhere. He just got in touch with me on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then some other person called me and was telling me about this same person without knowing that this person has reached out to me already. You know, he was thrown out of a guest house where he was supposed to be staying while he's going to be working with J. Israel. He slept on the street with his wife and 2-year-old daughter. He's not from Johannesburg. He's from East London, about 10 hours away. Now he's left stranded. No money, no nappies for his babies. His clothes were confiscated by the guest house because he didn't pay the bill, you know. And now what should he do? And he wanted me to speak to Jay. And I said, I can't speak to Jay Israel because I don't speak to Jay Israel right now. You know, but I can help you. I can put you on my platform and then you talk and then we try to see how we can raise money for you and your family. And by the grace of God, we've raised about 20,000 already. You know, because he needs, even if he goes back home, you can say, oh, let's raise 1,000 and give him for transport to go back home. But he has to go and start life all over again. He's been working with Jay for about a year and a half. So I don't know what evidence you need. I don't know what evidence people need. They need videos. I showed videos yesterday of him in the studio. I showed photos of them together. What evidence, what more evidence do you need?
Yeah.
They just want to defend something that is indefensible.
Right. As we continue, Solomon, my brother, there's we're going to bring in some questions. There's somebody who actually asked the question, and I'm going to read it to you. But before we do that, we also want to find out from you, from the people that is owing right now, and the people that have reached out to you to say, please speak to Jay, he's owing me this much, and all of that. What has been their story?
Jay asks people for money. Right now, talking to you, he's asking a lot of people for money internationally, especially women. He takes advantage of women. Because I see him, young person, he's charismatic, he's a pastor. So sometimes, women who are not really strong in their relationship with God, they fall for that. Because they think they have hope of having a relationship or something, which is not true, you know. So there's this woman that he met here in Lucas church, and then he invited her to his church. She lives in the UK, and he asked her to go into business with him. They buy cars in South Africa and go take it to Zimbabwe and make money. And she invested 200,000 rand, and he said he was going to give her money right from last year. He still hasn't given her money. He hasn't given her money, and he hasn't given her the profit. You know, and then in January, he was fixing his church in Durban, and he asked her for a loan of 8,400 pounds, which is about 230,000 rand, you know.
Okay.
And she gave it to him in January. So we're not talking about 3 years ago, January.
It's recent.
Very recent. And he said he was going to pay her back nothing. And he even didn't want to speak to her and all that. She had to come to me and tell me about it. And I confronted him and he accepted. And he needs to make a plan. I said, you need to make a plan to pay her back. And she's not happy. I mean, that's about 500,000, just one person.
Yeah. Like, is this something that is being given in terms of like, it's a seed or it's a loan?
No. It's not a seed. So we have to differentiate. If it's a seed, you're not going to ask it. You know, the first one, the 200,000 was a business investment to buy cars in South Africa, take it to Zim, sell it. And then he came up with complaints that his brother didn't do this, his brother didn't do that. The second 8,400 pounds was a loan. And he promised he was going to pay it as soon as still. So he owes this one person about 500,000 rand.
Sure. Yeah.
That's one person.
That's a lot of money.
And there are a lot of them. Of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having Solomon Izhang Shawms here on JCTV Zimbabwe, and a lot of you are asking questions. I might not be able to answer all of them, but we are going to try to ask Solomon to answer some of the questions. But I can see some of the people, their ghost accounts. Is this question from Bibinare? He says, Kenan, may you ask the man that you're interviewing why he's so arrogant? Why we asked him, why he did apologize to Lukau after exposing him as the man who is standing for the truth. People say he was paid and threatened, then apologized. So where is the truth in him as he claims he's a man of the truth? What do you have to say about this one?
First, he said, I'm arrogant. What does arrogant mean? Can you define arrogance to me? Don't confuse confidence or passion with arrogance. Arrogance means I put you down. I don't put people down. I value people. But passion means you talk with, you're courageous. You speak with so much faith. You're passionate about it. And you also have to understand that I'm West African. When we speak, sometimes people think we're arrogant, but it's not arrogant. It's just the way that we talk.
You are speaking in confidence.
We speak in confidence. That's the way that we are. So I'm sorry, my brother. I'm not arrogant. And the part of Lukau, I got a lot of complaints, and we went and he took me to court. And the people who were supposed to testify, the victims, were now threatened. One of them, actually, they told her, they showed up, we know where your daughter goes to school. So the victims now, who were supposed to testify, now started withdrawing. So I was left with nothing. Remember, I was fighting for them. So what should I do? So now they forced me. I need to apologize. And they are the ones that wrote the apology and put it out there. I didn't write that apology. So we need to understand, my life has been threatened so many times. They came to my house 3 times with my kids to take us out, to kill us. My wife was pregnant 7 months. She was threatened. You know, I've been followed all around. I'm ready to die for this. I'm ready to go to prison for this. But if you said I apologize to the cow, then you don't know the background story. At least I took him on. Who has taken him on? So I put my life on the line.
Tell us about, on that note, I wanted to ask you also that how have you managed to deal with the problem whereby you come to a person comes to you asking for help, and they say, please expose to us this person. They give you all the information, they give you everything to you, and once you put it out on the platform, it's you who is left to fend for yourself, and these people, they are now withdrawing cases. How have you managed to deal with such circumstances?
It comes to the territory, I know that this is what God called me to do. And it's not, God didn't call me to expose false prophets or pastors. God called me to stand for the truth and justice. So whatever I do is about truth and justice. So people will come to you, obviously you investigate, but then they will withdraw. They will change their mind. So I'm getting used to that. I'm used to that now. So I need to be careful, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to be in trouble. And I'm ready to take any trouble for any wrong that was done to women who were raped, women who were sexually abused, people who lost money. I know people that have also come to me to use me to extort money from these prophets. Because once Bushiri knows that you're talking to me, there are people that came to me because they know that Bushiri doesn't want me to talk about him. Once they sort of like are associated with me, they go behind me and then tell him, look, myself and Solomon are talking, we're going to make sure we get you out. And then they negotiate, and they will get money without my knowledge.
Sure. And then you are left to fend for yourself.
Of course. And I'm not in this for money. I have used my own personal family money. I have lost money. But I'm okay with it. I've been doing this for over 10 years now. People have called me names. When I was talking about Lukau, people abused me and everything. And when the resurrection whole drama happened, people now like, wow, Solomon is actually right. Bushiri, the same thing. Watch J Israel. In a year's time, people will come back and say, Solomon was actually right. Because Jay is not going to stay in Johannesburg. He's based in Johannesburg now. He's not going to stay in Johannesburg for long. He's been running. He was in East London. He ran away. He was in Durban. He ran away. So you think he's not going to run away from Johannesburg? He's going to go into trouble and he's going to run away. The police are actually looking for him right now.
Yeah, we are getting a lot of questions from ghost accounts. There is this one. I don't know how to.
No, forget ghost accounts. I know those accounts. Those are coming from J. Israel and Tinashi.
It's written a weird name. Let me just put it out there so that people don't say that I'm imagining things. There is it. I don't know if there is somebody who has got that kind of a name. It's a like we weird something like that. And
yeah, these are ghost accounts. Say why he has blocked me on he has blocked me on the mere fact that I asked him to provide facility. In this picture of Solomon is holding a note saying that picture was falsified. I never held the picture. That was photoshopped. People have accused me so many times of doing different things. People have accused me. So these ghost accounts, J. Israel has a lot of ghost accounts. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah. But I'm just asking this guy. Well, it's I don't know how to pronounce it.
Those are ghost accounts. You see, J. Israel, Tinashi, and J. They have ghost accounts. If you say anything against them, that was the same thing they did in East London. They will send their accounts to attack you and attack you and attack you. They are cyber criminals. They are online criminals. We have to understand that.
Yeah.
They'll come right from when Jay was still a charlatan in East London. They used to do that to me. And we have that other question from BB was saying about, how do you know that J. Israel raised $300,000? I never said he raised $300,000. I said he raised 300,000 rand. So let's be clear.
Yes.
Go and check the videos. Yeah. Why? How do I know he raised 300,000 rand? Where's the video of that broadcast? He pulled it out of YouTube and out of Facebook. So what do you think?
It's gone.
You think he's just decided to pull it out? Out of all his videos, he decided to pull that out. Because he knows that would question his credibility. Think, please, people. Johannes Matlang was saying, what is Solomon aiming to achieve now? Is this action not bringing confusion to those that were starting to take notice? Is the timing of your issue with Jay good? You see, I'm not trying to achieve anything. I'm just trying to achieve telling the truth. And the truth has no season. There's no good time to tell the truth. And you're saying it's going to bring confusion. That's not your own part to decide. Let God, who is the controller of mankind, who is the carrier of the gospel, let him sort people. Let him bring sanity. Actually, this is going to bring more sanity than anything. Because then people will begin to realize that you have to stand on the truth, no matter what your friend does or people what they're doing. But majority of the people that are attacking me are not people that can tell their friend, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah, there is another question. Like I'm seeing some of the comments. I'm not going to put them because they are kind of like repetition of the same thing. There are people who are saying that you yourself, as you say, that you cannot speak to Israel right now. What are the conditions that you have laid to Israel to say, if you are going to meet A, B, C, D, I'm going to be able to meet you and I'm going to help you? And then the following question would be, is this why? Because people are saying that they are now confused. Why? What do you have to say to these people who have now left these churches like Lukau's church, Bushiri's church? Now, what can they do? Where can they go now after having had all this saga?
There are a lot of good churches, but the thing is, you don't know where to go because you're looking for prophecies, you're looking for miracles. But life and Christianity is not about prophecy and miracles. Actually, for you, one of the wrong ways in trying to look at a church or to know if a man of God is from God is when they perform miracles. In the nation of Egypt, when Moses went to set the captives free, let my people go. Before Pharaoh, Moses was, God says, put your stick on the ground, and the stick now turned to the stick now turned what do you call it? Snake. What
Snake,
did
yes.
Pharaoh's wise men did? They did the same thing. They put their stick on the ground and they swallowed. You know, so miracles is not the way to evaluate that. You know, so there are good churches. All you have to do is to look for God and to look for God and to look for God. And the first one, what was the first question again? You're saying,
all right. I was saying that you have reached out to J. Israel. What
okay,
are
yes,
the conditions that he's
yes,
supposed to meet?
just one condition. Yeah, I gave him one condition. My last conversation with him, I told him, you know, this is going to be my last conversation with you until you are ready to tell me the truth. So when you're ready to tell me the truth about ugly truth that I have found out that you are involved with ugly truth, you and your best friend Tinash, and you are using that to extort people, to bully people, until you're ready to tell me the truth and repent, I cannot speak to you anymore because you've shown me that I cannot trust you. So why should I be close to you when I cannot trust you? I mean, I can be with him. When I see him here, I can greet him, I can hug him and all that. So I'm not fighting with him, you know what I'm saying? But I disagree with him strongly.
So this is not a personal issue, because some people are saying on the comment section that probably Solomon, you are jealous of J. Israel because he has got bigger following and he's now raising more money than you. That's why you are attacking him, or maybe you were paid. That's what other people are saying.
No. Not at all. You know, the first thing you said is what? I'm what? People are saying I'm what?
They're saying that you have a personal vendetta with him.
Yeah. I mean, people don't know me, so I mean, they have the right to say that because you don't know me, you don't know my Christian work, you don't know my faith in God, you don't know where I come from. So you have the right to do that. You have insufficient information, but then you are making a very important decision with insufficient information, which is really sad because your conclusion is going to be error. Your conclusion is going to be untrue. You know, and that might cause you to sin, to begin to hate me, or to begin to do whatever because you don't have enough. I don't have a personal vendetta. If I have a personal vendetta, I wouldn't reach out to him to help me. You know, I'm not the person that carries personal vendetta. It's not personal. And people are saying that, you know, maybe I was paid to attack him and all that. You know, it's shocking actually. People are thinking that way. That as Christians, we think that it's possible for one Christian to accept money to attack another Christian or to have a personal vendetta. You see, in my world, that's not the way I see things, because that's not the way that I am. There's no amount of money. If I wanted to make money from what I'm doing here, I would have made millions from all these fake prophets that I have evidences. But instead of taking it to them to pay me, I expose it. So personal vendetta, why should I? He has more followers than I. Have we reduced the truth and the gospel to followers? Is that what it's all about? You know, that's sad. When I hear Christians saying that, it actually breaks my heart, because it shows that we talking about followers on Facebook or YouTube, subscribers. Come on, people. There are lies and deception and people losing money and women being raped every day by all these people. There are fraudulent people like J. Israel raising money from gullible people. And then you're talking about followers and subscribers? Come on.
Right.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay. All right. Okay. We are going to continue. These are some of the comments that people have been receiving. Solomon is taking care of the wife is having a meeting, so that's why you're seeing in and out. But we're just going to continue with this conversation as we continue. But I just want to put out some of the comments that we've been posting. Sarah Mbihi, Bibinari is a ghost account. There's nothing in it. There's Paraya Mushe, J. Israel fake accounts are posting names. Let me just go to the new ones here. Let me just go here. This Bibinari is saying, I'm not Jay, I'm the lady who wants to hear the truth from the man of truth. You can't come with the truth to people, then withdraw because you're afraid of. That is Bibinari. He pulled other videos as well with these boys because of their personal reasons. That's another comment there. Unfortunately, shame not at all. I'm just trying to get, there is a label hang Monese. Label hang Monese. Okay. Lemohang Monese. So everyone who does not agree with what you are saying is Jay's fake account. The letter that you wrote to apologize to the cow is fake letter, Mr. Solomon. We're going to ask him that. Zanele Mabija, what kind of proof can Solomon come forth with to prove beyond reasonable doubt about the ugly truth? We're going to bring that one as well. Sarah Mbihi, please, Solomon, let us know how the Muzake saga went. So we are going to bring that question, Muzake saga, and write it down. Okay. Right. Anyone who follows fake preacher is a fake follower. That is Luando Sidwili. Luando Sidwili. Sidwili. And Mike Zulu. This guy is a lie. Can't even talk. Okay, so we are going to continue listening to your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, here on JCTV Zimbabwe. Obviously, we want to understand. I've reached out to Jay Israel personally before this interview, before he even had an interview with Solomon. I reached out to Jay Israel and they said, I want to know what is happening, what made you to make those decisions. Obviously, you people were following him. I don't have also anything against him, but I'm just saying, as a platform, we want to give him a right of reply. And I've reached out to him. Could even send you some screenshots of me sending him some messages. He's not responded to those messages, and I don't know why he's not responding. Because I believe that if you have a platform, you must be able to come to other platforms to answer for questions if you have got something that is of public interest, because this matter is no longer an issue between Israel and his followers alone. It is also a matter of public interest. Everyone needs to know what is happening and who is who and what is happening. So those are some of the comments that we want to address, and Solomon is going to address all of them. So people are sending your questions. If you've got any questions that you want to give to Solomon, please send them through so that we can continue the conversation. It's a very critical conversation. We want to have a balance. I really want to have people who are going to be part of this conversation as well. If you want to be part of this conversation, we can also be able to allow you to join in the conversation in this whole issue. Let me just allow Solomon to be busy doing what he's doing. Okay, just hold on a second. Right. He's still busy there with other stuff. But anyway, we can continue. So I want you to give me all the questions that you have. Okay, Solomon is back. All right. All right, brother. Yeah, there are some questions that came when you were off. Okay, I'm trying to. We'll check your inbox. I sent you screenshots of my unfruitful conversation with Solomon. We're going to have a look at that one. Unfortunately, I can't be able to look at it now. We have to look at it later. So there are some people who are putting some comments here, and we wanted you to answer to some of the questions. And this Bibinare, she's saying that she inboxed you, and she has some screenshots and she has some conversations that she wanted to have with you. She said Jay Israel pulled out the video because of his personal reasons with his boys, but you have to explain to
what's the personal reasons. If he has personal reasons, he's supposed to be accountable to you. A leader is accountable. You know, so you don't just pull things out without really explaining it to people. That's not godly leadership.
Okay, we are struggling to hear some Solomon. We lost you a bit there. You were still saying something?
Yes, I said that's when we go to all these churches, that's what happens. Because we go to all these churches and the pastor is always right. You don't question the pastor. And that's what exactly you're telling me here. He said he pulled it out for personal reasons. What personal reasons? What are the personal reasons?
Yeah.
So if he can't tell you the personal reasons, that's to tell you he's trying to hide something. So forget personal reasons. Break it down. Your personal reasons. Why? What was because a leader is supposed to be exemplary that way. If he tells you the reason, the personal reasons, then he's been transparent and he's been accountable. And those are the values of leadership that are lacking. And those are the values of leadership that I'm actually trying to tell him. I cannot be your big brother if you're not going to be transparent, right? And you're going to be honest to me. It's not possible.
All right. Okay. We are going to continue with questions, but there's another question that was raised about Mzwakhe. They wanted to understand what's the end result with the Mzwakhe story. What happened?
Currently, we're supposed to have a last broadcast about Mzwakhe, but I got a call from a South African civil society organization called Not in My Name. They are like a pressure group, and they wanted to mediate. So I went to a meeting and I met Mzwakhe. You know, I haven't told people this. You're actually the first person I'm telling you this.
Oh, okay.
You know, I met Mzwakhe and they tried to mediate and all that. I said, look, Mzwakhe, you can say all that you want to say. I don't feel you're a pastor. You're not a pastor. You shouldn't be leading a church. I said, Mzwakhe, you are a charlatan. You are a criminal. I told him that to his face because that's who he is. So people think you're arrogant. No, I'm telling you the truth about these people. And then he was like, no, what they said is not true and all that. I said, no. Now, Not in My Name was mediating. I said, here's the number of these guys. Call them and ask them and then set up a meeting. And then you are going to be able to talk.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then you are going to be able to talk. And then he's like, talk to them. And that's good. And then so they spoke to them, and then they spoke to Mzwakhe, trying to arrange a meeting, but he's not coming forward to meet with the people who accuse him of all that they accuse him of. And now he's avoiding everything. So next week, hopefully, I'm going to bring them back and then have an interview with them, and then we take it up from there.
All right. Okay. There's a comment here from Sarah Mbihi. And she's saying, we love Solomon so much. He's doing a good job, but please, Solomon, elaborate further about Jay's issue of being broke. For he says he's broke as far as COVID interference. How do you see if it were not COVID, was Jay going to pay his debtors? For now, Jay still claim being broke. Can you talk about this at length? Because there's also the other thing that I also feel, Solomon, here, that as you were saying that if I am owing, like right now, if you're owing the bank, they will tell you, or even at national debt counselors, they will tell you that, or a debt counselor, they will tell you that you have to cut your cost. But it looks like Jay is still living a lavish life. And that is a question for me. I have a problem with that. That if you want to pay off your debtors, you have to cut off on the lavish style. If you can rather go and buy a small Ford Focus and drive that and let go of the Range Rover so that you can pay off people that you are owing. I think that is a sensible question. So then there's another question that I wanted to ask on the issue of the stolen computers that we spoke about. Tell us more about what happened with the stolen stuff. The stuff, was it stolen or it was not stolen? What happened?
It was not stolen, and they're all back to Jay now. You know, except for I think 1 or 2 equipments, but almost everything is back to him. So he just lied, and all that happened even before he did a live broadcast. He was just trying to make money. He raised money, and that was just it. The people that he's accusing of stealing it, they spoke to me.
Mm.
They told, initially I believed him, but when I saw that he was lying to me, I was like, no. That's one of the reasons why I said, no, Jay, you can't lie to me. You know, there's no case against them. He owes them money, refusing to pay them. That's why they did what they did, you know, and they returned a lot of the stuff. And even the guy that I interviewed yesterday confirmed that. So I don't, I don't, you know, you know, he lied and he raised the money, and he raised the money and he kept it for himself. Jay is not broke. What's his job? Jay doesn't have a skill. Remember, Jay didn't finish matric.
Okay, yeah. So the only source of income is preaching.
You know, Jay never finishes matric. He never finishes matric. I was actually encouraging him to go back to school. I said, look, you can study. You can go to university. You are smart enough. So if Jay is broke, that what? Because church is closed, so Jay is broke. So church is like where you make your money from. You're broke, you have 2 bodyguards, you drive a Range Rover, you lived in a hotel, and then now you move to a big house in Santon. You're broke. You're broke, you go to posh restaurants to eat, but you don't care about the people that you've taken their money. You're broke. What is broke? So moving from spending 100,000 a month to spending 30,000 or 50,000 a month is not broke. So forget about Jay. Jay is gonna be lying to you to tell you he's broke. He's playing. You know, his lies are just too simple to see, but people do not see it because they think he has opened their eyes to see charlatans. But your eyes are open, but your minds are closed.
Right. There's a question from Haikera Richard. Jay told the whole world what he has done. What about you, Solomon?
What has he done? What has he done? I've been doing this for years. You know, people. I'm not somebody that would go out and tell people what I've done. What has Jay done? Jay only started trying to confess his sin about 2 years ago. I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know how many times my life was threatened for the gospel? You know how many times I've been persecuted my family? You know how many times I've received death threats? You know how many times I've been lied all around? You know, lies all about me all around. You know how many women I've gone to court with, girls and boys that have been raped. You know, that I have to go to court with them, that I have to go to police, that I have to try to get counseling for them. What has Jay done?
So in like as we are going to wrap up,
he's a fake Fendi TK. Jay is a fake prophet. That's the end of the story. See it that way.
There's another. I'd rather sleep hungry. That's Sarah Mihi. I'd rather sleep hungry and share the little I have with my debtors. Yeah, that's you know, that's how you your eyes.
That's the gospel. That's the gospel.
Your eyes are open, but your minds are closed. That's Fiona Mutanyi Mkwevo. So we are going to put all your comments here. It's weird these ghost names. I've never heard a name like this. You have to elaborate. I think it's the same. Was it's the same name that was on Facebook. Now it's on YouTube. You can read it. I wrote friendly advising you. Probably this is Jay trying to so
yeah, this is a fake account. Like I said, I don't carry anger. Don't confuse anger with passion. If you know Nigerians, you know me. Don't confuse anger with passion. And you said I deleted you. I deleted your comment. I have the right to delete your comment. Everybody that has a Facebook page, anybody, whatever they write, they have the right to delete it. Is it a sin? It's not a sin.
All right. I think this question was answered. Babalwa Melo saying, Solomon, please tell us what are the few things you picked on Jay that made you investigate him, just for everyone to understand. I think that, I don't know, you maybe you may elaborate further.
Yeah, thanks, Babalwa. And I think I've seen her around my Facebook and all that, always commenting objectively. Thank you so much.
Mm,
I I think
mm,
for me, I picked a lot of pride. Pride is a big
mm,
problem.
yeah.
Then you know that there is still a problem, and then there is a bit
Mm,
of dishonesty. You know,
mm,
they would do this or they would do that, and all that kind of stuff. So I picked dishonesty. And
mm,
Babalwa, you have to understand. For me, the fruit of the spirit is important than
mm,
anything, than the gift of the
mm,
person or how much money the person
mm,
have, how educated they are. Are they showing the gift of the
mm,
spirit? If they're not doing
mm,
their best, and I'm not saying we don't make
mm,
mistakes, we do, but are you doing your
mm,
best to show the gift of the spirit? So I
mm,
picked the up. Just to summarize, I picked the absence of the key gifts of the spirit in J.
mm, mm,
That was why I decided to follow him. And I picked lies, you know, gradually, and I gave him opportunity 5 times. Jay,
mm,
tell me, are you
mm,
involved with ugly truth? No. Over
mm,
5 days, Jay, tell me. Even when I got
mm,
my evidences together, I say, Jay, I've
mm,
got evidences. It shows me that you're involved with ugly truth. Please tell
mm,
me the truth so we
mm,
can deal with this privately. If not, when I
mm,
put it out there, point fingers are going to be pointed at you.
mm,
He still lied. I couldn't
mm,
help
mm,
him.
mm. All right. There's this important question from Pumi Zungu. I think this is very important. Uh, in your view, why is the Council of Churches and the CRL failed to hold these false prophets to account, lobby government to shut down these business masquerading as churches? What do you think? Why are these churches still operating yet? There is overwhelming evidence which is coming out. Why are they still operating?
Yeah, this is a good question because the South Africa Council of Churches and also the CRA Rights Commission to be able to do that against them. The South Africa Council of Churches obviously is an umbrella of churches, and then the CRL is a government Section 9 institution in South Africa, and that's
Mm,
important. But they have limitations. They cannot prosecute
mm,
these people. They cannot close down the
mm,
churches or whatever. Only the courts can do that. you know,
mm,
only the courts can do that. But
mm,
what I think the CRL and the South Africa Council of Churches don't do enough is to
mm,
push these things really hard.
mm,
And
mm,
these charlatans and these fake prophets and churches that are masquerading as the Church of God, they
mm,
they are they have money, so they know how to
mm,
do things. That's why we've been
mm,
fighting some of them for a long time.
mm,
And
mm,
they're going here and there, so they manipulate people. When Alf Lukau took me to court, he brought a very expensive lawyer, very
mm,
expensive. Even the judge complained that your lawyer is very expensive.
mm, mm,
you
mm,
know,
mm, mm.
so they have
Yeah.
money. They will do everything to cover themselves up. But I
Mm,
feel there needs to be more, and people need to
mm,
speak more, and people need
mm,
to come out more, and people need
mm,
to be vocal and say wrong
mm,
is wrong, no matter who does
mm,
it. And people
mm,
need to be able to expose these things. That way, we can
mm,
all actually take uh, responsibility, each and every one of us.
mm, 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 mm. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing your comments and your thoughts here on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you very much for participating. As we are going to wrap up this show because he has another show at 9, I presume.
Yes.
Mm. Um, uh, so as we close, brother, what I want to hear from you is that uh, in this whole issue, do you feel like Jay Israel is still connected with these people that he claims that they are charlatans, or he's just somebody who was fed up with this whole system and is trying to rebrand himself, but he does not want to let go of the benefits of what he learned from the previous, I mean, spiritual father, or you might want to say that.
I, I really don't know. Jay is a
Mm,
pathetic liar. Uh,
mm,
so you would not even try to consider why he left or whatever. But one thing I can say, I think I have to go back to what God had told me last year about him. I think he just rebranded himself to continue to
mm,
deceive people. You know,
mm,
he might not be connected. He might have fell out with Iba the Angel or Alf Lukau and all these guys.
mm,
But he definitely uh He's continuing the same way. He's doing fraudulent stuff behind the scene. He's still going after girls at the moment, you know. And I know he told me, but you're not doing anything about it to stop it. You know, you say you're struggling with it, but you're still doing it. So I don't see any effort in trying to stop it. You know, so when somebody is that way, you know, when people want, if you want somebody to help you, you have to be willing to receive the help. But Jay is not willing to receive help. Jay is not willing to receive help.
There's some prophets are influencing South African leaders to deport you. What do you say? That's wise men, Mabutani.
Yes, I would answer that question. I've been in South Africa over 10 years and I've never been illegal in this country. So how do you deport somebody who is not illegal in the country? My wife is South African. I have 2 kids. They're also South Africans and Nigerians. So the people that are, you know, influencing South African leaders to deport me, it clearly shows that they do not know the Constitution of South Africa. So I would first advise them to go and study the Constitution of South Africa. Even if I commit a crime, you would not deport me. You take me to prison. That's what you do. You know. So for you to deport me because of what I'm doing, they actually, there's just a lot of it just shows that they don't know. They're just frustrated. They don't know how to get rid of me, so they create all these things. Nobody can deport me from this country. I'm not in this country legally. I have rights to be in this country. I'm not a citizen of South Africa. I'm a citizen of Nigeria, but I have legal immigration requirements to stay in this South Africa. I had never been in South Africa illegally. All my stay, I renew my permit, my immigration, my visa, everything is in perfect. So it doesn't just move me. You can do Zuma cannot. Sorry, the president Ramaphosa cannot deport me. Why would he deport me? Is there a legit reason? Because I'm talking about false prophets and fake pastors. That's not a legit reason. You know, if you go, you're not even going to take it to court because I mean, what are you going to say? And then what? So they're just threatened because I'm spoiling their business and money is not coming in as expected.
From this this whole issue of Jay Israel, if you are to meet Jay Israel right now, what do you have to say to him? Like, I want to bundle 2 questions so that we can just wrap up in the next minute. If you are to see Jay Israel, what are you going to say to him, and what is your message that you are reaching out to him to say? Do this, do this, do this. I think you have said at one point. But maybe as we close, this rounding up question is, what is the future? What does the future holds for such acts of exposing pastors who are manipulating people? And many people probably in this interim, this season, they've been opened up to see how gullible they are and how they've been deceived. What is next for you, and what is next for these pastors moving forward?
I think for me, I always just want to advocate for the truth and expose their dealings. And secondly, to continue to educate people and inform people. You know, these are very key things that I do. Inform people, educate people, just so they would see when they're being deceived. You cannot stop them from going to these churches. And you cannot stop false prophets and all these churches. They're going to exist. Biblically, in Matthew 25:25, it's clear there that they would be with us. So you can never eradicate all false prophets and churches that are dodgy. No, it's not going to work. It's never going to happen. You know, it's a prophecy. You know, but what you can do is to inform people and educate people. And I think for me, that's the future. Educating people more and more and informing people whilst we expose some of these things. That is the most important thing. Somebody was asking me today from the UK, Solomon, have you considered making a documentary? You know, that would be good to make, you know, around these issues, just so people will be informed and people will be educated. That's very important. So that's really the future, and also to help more and more people who have been victimized in the church, one way or the other, to come out, either financially manipulated or sexually, to come out and you know, to let the law take its course.
That's Baba Lomelo again. how you spoke about earlier that you have raised money for specific. I don't know if I'm saying the name correctly. You have raised money for him. What can people do in order to help and assist some of these people that are coming to you asking for help? How can people assist?
I've never raised money for anybody, to be honest with you. And sometimes when people come to me with a problem, I try to help them by myself, not to put it out in the public, you know. But when this guy and his wife that Jay neglected, they had to go and sleep on the street with their daughter who came. I just felt, look, let's raise enough money for him to be able to sustain himself at least for a month or two whilst they sort out themselves. So we've raised about 20,000. People were giving from around the world, locally in South Africa, Namibia, in Canada, in the UK, you know, the US, people were giving. And if people want to give, they can go to my Facebook page. My Facebook page is my name, as you can see there, Solomon Izhang. And just scroll down a little bit, you're going to see their photo, and you're going to see all the banking details that is there, and also PayPal in case you want to do that. Let's really show them the, you know, let's really show them the love of God. You know, let's show them that, look, this is God, because Christianity is very practical. Christianity is not all talk. And that's what people like Jay Israel do. They talk, but they're not living it. You know, you preach what you don't, you know, what you don't live. And that's the problem with a lot of Christians. A lot of people that follow him is because that's the way their life is also. They don't know any other life. They do the same thing like he does. You know, sin attracts sin. That's why they would defend him and all that kind of stuff. But that's not going to change the fact for me. I love the truth. I will stand on the truth with my life. You cannot change my mind. People don't know that I have a very tough skin. You know, when it comes to the truth, we cannot negotiate it, brothers and sisters. Let's really, if we can really hold on the truth and seek the truth, that way we can really have a better church. We can have a better community. We can have better families. Our lives could be better. You know, false prophets would go, you know, a lot of them will go out of business. They will reduce drastically. And that's important.
Right. Questions are coming whilst you are about to close. There is Lebohang Monesa again. Instruments back to him while he's owing rent at church where you said the boys kept them. Did he manage to pay rent or is still owing?
No, there are certain, he's still owing, and there are certain instruments that's there, and there are certain instruments that active. So I'm not saying all the instruments are active. And he's still owing that rent. He told me that himself.
Okay. And this one, I don't want to be unfair. Zanele Mabija, the question has not been answered. There is still doubt about evidence that Solomon brought forth. But
you have to specify the evidence. Which evidence are you talking about? At least I have given you evidence. Has Jay given you any evidence? When he talks about the money, did he give you any evidence? At least I brought evidences to you. But all he does was just talk, no evidence. So Zanele needs to specify which evidence. I brought forth a lot of evidences. I brought forth of his fraudulent, what do you call it? Company registration. I brought forth evidences from his website. I brought forth emails evidences. I brought forth emails evidences and photos evidences. I mean, so which evidences are you talking
about? Okay. We have to end this. There's another guy, but I'm not going to put up his comment because I think it's one and the same thing that we are talking about. Reach out to Kings. He's saying, I think both of you guys have to swallow your pride. We don't have pride, my brother.
There's no pride. There's no pride here.
There is no pride at all. The purpose of this interview was, for your own information, people, I actually reached out to Jay Israel and said, it's not good for you to come on your platform and say things where people are not asking you, where you are not being grilled. You are supposed to be on a platform where you can be grilled, you can be asked questions. I offered him that, I think way before you had a broadcast. He has not responded to me. And
Jay Israel would not allow anybody to question him. I had an interview with him for about 2.5 hours. But that was just me because he needed to affiliate, you know. But he would not allow anybody to question him. Even when I question him, there are questions that he refused to answer. There are things that he refused to do, just to tell you that. And that was actually one of the red flags. Just to talk to Babalwa, that was one of the red flags. If you are repentant, You should be open with your life anywhere and everywhere. This is what I did. This is what happened. God has forgiven you. You're just talking about it. I'm not putting you there in a judgment seat to condemn you. No, no. But we need to know the truth. We need to learn from you. But there's no truth at all. So please, people, stay away from J. Israel. In about a year's time, you would you remember that I said stay away from J. Israel. You remember that very well. It's going down soon.
Any last words, my brother, before we close this program now? I think we've been...
I just want to say to people, especially with people that said, look, we're for this, you know, like in the Bible, they said some people would say, no, we are with Paul. Some people would say, no, we are with Silas. Some people would say, no, we are with Apollos. No, you don't have to pick sides. Pick the side of truth. Don't pick my side because it's Solomon. Don't pick Jay's side because it's Jay. Don't pick Lukau or Bushiri's side because it's them. No. What is the truth, biblically speaking, and pick the side of truth. So I just want to encourage everybody here. We would make a difference. The Bible says we're the salt and the light of the world. And that's when the government, people in the community, our friends would know that indeed Christians are the salt and the light when we pick the side of truth, even outside of the four walls of the church, because that is important. So I encourage you, and please, I commend you, and I challenge you to pick the side of truth, and God will continue to see us.
My brother, I can never be grateful enough for what you've done today. I really appreciate you coming to just a small guy here, and I wanted to talk about this, and you availed yourself, and you availed.
No, I tell people, I say, people that inbox me, you know, I replied all my inbox messages, you know, I reply them. I don't know the people. I don't know 90 or 95% of the people, but I see everybody as precious. So I at least I reply you. Even if I'm not going to help you, I will reply you and tell you I cannot help you, because I feel people deserve that.
For your own information, you know, I started knowing Solomon. That was, I think, 2010, somewhere around there. I saw him. I was working for somewhere in Livonia, and I saw him on TV, and he was talking about what is happening at the Church of TB Joshua, and that's when I started knowing him. And over the years, I've seen you, you know, posting some stuff, and at some point I thought this guy is just crazy. But when I realized that, you know, these things, being in and seeing a lot of people being unfairly treated, and some being, you know, you are hired by the word of mouth, and then you are let go just like that, and with nothing, no package, no retrenchment. You are just let go, and people are just left to fend for themselves, and they know where to turn to. They cannot speak about these things in public because they are afraid of the other church members. So that's why I reached out to him, and I really appreciate his time. So he's not somebody that I've started knowing today. I've known him way back, I think 2010, somewhere there. That's when I started knowing him. So thank you so much, sir, for coming to the show, and we hope that we are going to have you soon.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless everybody.
Okay, thank you. That was Solomon Izhang Ishams joining us today. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. I couldn't put all your comments on the screen because obviously the screen will look weird, and I cannot edit this out once it has gone out. But thank you. Your poster will be still appearing on my Facebook page. Go and subscribe to JCTV Zimbabwe. Follow me on JCTV Zimbabwe on Facebook. We will continue. We'll try to get J. Israel if we can. If we are lucky, we might get him. But if you want to be part of this show, please get in touch with me. I'm just going to put out my numbers here. Get in touch with me on WhatsApp, only WhatsApp. Get in touch with me. Let's talk. If you want to be part of the show, you've got anything that you want to say about what is happening. I will personally say that for J. Israel, exposing the truth, the issues that he has been exposing about what has been happening to the churches that he has been to, yes, it's fine. I agree with him. But where we do not agree is continuing the same trajectory, and also not showing people where to go or what to believe, you know, because he's not preaching the truth personally. He's not preaching the truth. He's just confessing. But for him to preach the testimony of Jesus, he needs to prove that. And he needed time to cool off after what happened, because he was somebody who was known. He needed time to cool off and get to know the word. And after getting to know the word, then he can now continue preaching. Anyway, I don't want to seem like I'm being one-sided. J Israel, if you're watching this broadcast, please get in touch with me. These are my numbers on WhatsApp. Get in touch with me. Let's talk. Bring me your side of the story so that we can also have a balanced view on this whole situation. But to everyone that participated, I just want to post your comments. Weird Biri. I don't know if you are that my brother or my sister, I don't know, Titus Chasela, what have we on via J? I received my salvation. How many people we have saved in this export? I don't know what kind of salvation are you talking about. That is the kind of salvation. If you do not know the testimony of Jesus, my brother, my sister, you are still lost. You are still lost if you are not fully, you do not know the testimony of Jesus, where they have been told the truth. Because even a drunkard can tell you that so and so pastor is fake, and that's what it is. So don't base on that to say he has shown you life, and yet you are not sure of his life himself, because he has to demonstrate that life as well before you can believe in whatever I say. But anyway, I don't want to take sides again. Ibinare is not crazy, he's very arrogant to his page. You see how people answers people. Solomon is gone. We will have him at one point. But J Israel, for watching, please, or anyone that is watching, please get in touch with me. Let us talk about this. Please subscribe to JCTV Zimbabwe. Once again, this is your boy reminding you that Rise Up Africa, the world is waiting for you. I'll see you again next time when we have another hot broadcast.